will entertain the Wildcats of Wilson High School of Hacienda Heights. It's not been a great season for either ball club. In conference play, they're 2-4. Tonight, you'll get a chance to see, I think we may have just a little intruder here in our picture. Get them out of the way. Get back to football. I played in the northern part of the state, came down south and is playing at Wilson High School. His name is Tom Merrill. He's a nephew of the head coach at West Covina, head coach at Wilson High School, Dave Merrill, and Jim Wright, the head coach at West Covina High School, is in his first season as coach at that school. Incidentally, if you coach any kind of sport, I guess you have to have a sense of humor. When I talked to Coach Dave Merrill yesterday over at Wilson High School, I asked him about his defense. He said, we use a shuffle defense. I said, I haven't heard of that before. He said, that means we shuffle players here and there and hope somebody does the job. We'll find out about that. We were talking about the quarterbacks, the height difference, noticeable. Tom Merrill is 6'1", 190. And Rene Salazar, 5'10", 160. We'll be back in just a moment with the play-by-play. Number 55, you'll be seeing a lot of 55. That's Chris Vivolo, a tough little defensive ball player who's figured prominently in the success that West Covina has had this year. Our referee doing his job now down on the field before the opening kickoff is Manny Canales. He'll be working with umpire Joe Simmons, head linesman Dan Wilson, the field judge Vern Swarling, and the back judge Sean Lohman. Always the most important people on the field, perhaps, the officiating crew for tonight. Taking a look at the league standings, we mentioned in that brief pregame show that we did that West Covina and Wilson of Hacienda Heights are both 2-4 in regular season play in conference. Wilson, a little better overall record, 4-5, not much better. West Covina, 3-6. In the Sierra League, Nogales, and they're in a big ball game tonight with the team that's contending for the title in the Sierra League, Roland. Nogales is first, followed by Roland. Nogales undefeated in conference and overall play. Overall record of 8 wins, no losses, and 6-0 in conference play. Roland 6-3 overall, but 5-1 in the conference, followed by Baldwin Park, 4-1-1. Diamond Bar, even Steven at 3-3. Then Wilson 2-4, West Covina 2-4, Los Altos 1-4-1, and Charter Oak 0-6 in conference play. Part of the change in the standings this year has to do with the ever-shifting student body size at various schools. Los Altos, which used to have around 3,000 students, I understand now is down to around 13 or maybe 1,600. West Covina, which was below 2,000, has gone back to a little over 2,000. Wilson, which used to be around 2,000 or maybe better, is now down to around 1,500. So when you have a smaller student body, you're going to have smaller number of kids out for football, and therefore that affects your whole program. West Covina will do the receiving, and Santizo will do the kicking off for the team with the white jerseys as Wilson, coached by Dave Merrill. And, of course, coaching over at West Covina in his first year, Jim Wright, coming here from the state of Arizona. While we have a little delay on the field, let's give credit to our crew tonight. Our co-directors are Lisa Allen and Anthony Zaldivar. On camera tonight, Phil Ige, Melissa Berkeley, John Nefos, and Alex Hershey. Our technical director is Regina Alvarado. In charge of engineering, Tony Viscaro. In charge of audio, Isaiah Camarena and Kevin Warrendorf. Now Santizo approaches, and this ball game is underway. A deep kick that is taken back around the 10-yard line. The ball carrier spins away from one tackler, is going to be down at the 25-yard line. And carrying on that play, taking the opening kickoff for West Covina was Lawrence Phillips. and he got it out to the 25. Not a bad run back. So let's see what West Covina does on its first play from scrimmage. They'd like to win this ball game tonight over a league rival and improve their overall record a little bit. We'll look at the starting lineup for West Covina as we can. First play from scrimmage, split backs behind the quarterback Salazar. The pass intended for the man set wide to the left, Pat Kurzik, on the far side, but the pass was overthrown, so we go to 2nd and 10. That was the opening play from scrimmage in this ball game tonight. And West Covina's offense, as we said, starting at quarterback, Rene Salazar. The tailback is Rod Boone. Fullback is Adam Escalante. Flanker, we'll check and see. We had a last-minute lineup change as Salazar goes back to pass. He throws. This time it's McHenry, and the pass is almost intercepted at the 46-yard line in Wilson territory. McHenry, the intended receiver. We're trying to get a look at the Wilson player running back towards the lineup, or his defensive teammates. Looks like possibly number 73. But anyway, the pass incomplete. Brings up 3rd down now and 10 yards to go. Ball game just underway on a mild autumn evening in West Covina. Salazar being hassled and has no chance to get rid of the ball. Number 72 was one of the fellows to first get to him. Let's give credit where credit is due. And number 72 for the Wilson Ball Club is Saifolam. Eddie Saifolam, S-A-I-F-O-L-A-M. The punting situation, the kick is in the air. It's a high kick. Gives the defense a chance to get down. The man to receive the ball, number 22, Wong. A flag goes down, another flag goes down. The first one near the vicinity of the tackle, but before the tackle was made, Wong tried to angle towards the far sideline, hoping maybe a lane or a crease would open up. It never did, and he was dropped around the 40-yard line. But as we said, flags all over the place, and it's going to be a clip against Wilson. So the first penalty of the evening, and that's a break for West Covina after having to punt after 3 unsuccessful plays, 2 incompleted forward passes, and then the sack. The ball moved back 15 yards to the 25-yard line. 1st and 10 for Wilson. There was a clip to put them back to the 25. No score in the ball game. Just underway. In fact, Wilson has his first chance from scrimmage now. Tom Merrill, the quarterback, pitches. And that's his Casas coming around left side. Casas at the 35 up to about the 37-yard line. Casas, a nice run on the first play from scrimmage before he was knocked down by Mike Lorenz, number 44. There you see Casas in the white jersey. And another flag down, this one back at the 25, the line of scrimmage. That indicates a hold, and that's what it's going to be. So that negated a nice run of 12 yards by Casas, but all to no avail. As you see now, Wilson back, and number 1 is Tom Merrill. As we said, he's the nephew of the head coach. Dave Merrill played in Northern California, but moved back to the southern part of the state for his senior year, and we're getting a look at him tonight.
That's what team's here now. When were they going to introduce him?
A pro set with a man in motion. Salazar to throw. Merrill to throw, and a flag goes down. We're going to get pass interference. The intended receiver, number 80, and trailing him too closely was Greg Nelson, number 20. The intended receiver was Hansen, and he was bumped as he tried to catch the ball. He had a height advantage over the receiver. And just as that play developed, about 6 fans decided to stand up and hold a private conversation, so we had to kind of wait for the football to emerge from that little huddle.
Takes the ball to the 20, takes the ball to the 30-yard line.
Apparently,
where it's an automatic first down.
another foul.
First and 10.
preceding that one and taking precedence over the interference call. Or either that or the interference occurred as the man tried to run his route rather than when at the point where he was to receive it. So it's a first down for Wilson, and at the 25, 26-yard line, that's Casas again. You can see him running well. See him go down, and we'll try to spot the kid who bounced him down pretty hard, but not until Casas had gotten across the 40 to the 45-yard line. So that's going to bring up a first down. No score in the ball game with 9:48 to go here in period number 1. I'm Doug Steele. My sidekick Mal Eaton under the weather apparently tonight, not here. But we'll see what happens now as the Wildcats with the first down out at the 43-yard line with a pro set. Now that's Martin in motion, number 10. You see the pitch to Casas going the opposite direction. Casas, however, tripped up after a gain of a little. He got about 3, and now a flag goes down well after the play ended. That indicates that possibly somebody lost his temper and said, oh, you naughty referee, or whatever, or something of that sort. Speaking of referees, you get a good shot of Manny Canales, the man in the white hat. Personal foul. And this one's going to be marched off against West Covina. So Jim Wright, probably over in the far sidelines, if we could get a camera angle at him, chewing his fingernails or stomping the dirt. Haven't had a chance to watch his sideline mannerisms. He might be one of those quiet fellows who shows no frustration along the sidelines, then goes home and beats up on the family cat. It's a first down at the 40-yard line of West Covina. Wilson in possession of the ball, no score. They have a slot back. The pitch out is fumbled. It's recovered by the man for whom it was intended at the 50-yard line. Mike Wong had to fall on the bad pitch. So errors by both teams so far have led to no score, but the ball at the 50-yard line. It'll be 1st and 20 at the 50-yard line.
Ladies,
Could you get the... Can you see? Once again, Wilson with a man in motion to the left, wide receivers both directions. There's a pea-picking play, a pea-picker that didn't work as the ball finally wound up in the hands of Wong, and Wong was hit and really hit very, very hard. He just barely got the ball. He was lucky to keep from fumbling that. And a loss of another 5, so 3rd and 25. So after getting the ball to the 40-yard line of West Covina with a first down, Wilson has done nothing right with 7:47 remaining in the first period. There you get an angle. See on the far right of your screen, a wide receiver, a man set wide left. And there's a little pass that is intercepted as Merrill threw a ball that just hung up there and floated and was picked off by number 10 for West Covina at the 10, the 5, and we see no flags. I don't see a signal for a touchdown. He may have stepped out of bounds just before he went in. Just before Glenn Jacobs, who picked off that pass, went across the goal line, he stepped out of bounds. And I imagine he is probably also having a word or two with himself, because nothing but touchdown all over that interception at the 1-yard line. Somehow or another, he stepped out of bounds. So Glenn Jacobs on that interception. And he picked that off around 240, so he went about 60 on the play, 59. He wanted to go 60, a play up the middle. Escalante does not penetrate the, or break the plane, got close to it. And it'll be second down at the 1-yard line. That's pretty hard to believe. Glenn Jacobs picked off a high, badly thrown pass almost as if Merrill tried to alley-oop it, and the wrong man caught it. Glenn Jacobs along the far sideline, about 59 yards, nobody in front of him. He stepped out of bounds. There's a touchdown. Salazar on the keeper.
1 yard by Ralph Salazar for the score.
So Salazar takes it over for 1 as West Covina forges a 6-0 lead, and Jacobs is going to remember that play for a long time. I don't know how many touchdowns he scored in his career. I hope a few, so this one will not have been so important, but he had nothing but clear sailing, and he did sail 59 yards or so with no problems. Everybody was 10 or 15 yards behind him. Somehow he stepped out of bounds along the far sideline. Jacobs will boot the extra point. It's in the air, and it is good. So it's 7-0. So Jacobs didn't score the touchdown, but he did add the icing, the PAT, and it's 7-0 West Covina. We have 6:50 remaining in the first quarter. So West Covina surviving some errors of their own, capitalizing on a badly thrown pass by Tom Merrill of Wilson. The thing floated forever and came down in the hands of Glenn Jacobs, and Jacobs ran along the far sideline, outran everybody. But when he got to the 1 yard line, the pressure of going in untouched got to him, and somehow he stepped out of bounds. $7-0 West Covina. Ball on the tee at the 40-yard line. There you get a good look at number 75. That's Brian Smith. That's Jacobs approaching and kicking the ball. It bounds around about the 10-yard line, finally picked up. That was kind of a dangerous thing to handle. That ball was bouncing around rather crazily. But it was picked up by number 33, I believe. Don't see a 33 in the Wilson Wildcats lineup. Folks, can you sit down? You may have heard a little ad lib there. For some reason, the fans like to stand up when there's really no reason for it. And I can't see because they're right in front of me. Anyway, it's a first down for Wilson, and they're out around their 13 or 14-yard line. Merrill hands off. I think that's Casas. Cracked over right tackle, but was popped pretty hard. He did get to the 15-yard line. We'll see exactly where they place it. Actually, the line of scrimmage is the 25, so they started out around the 22 rather than the 17. 2nd and 5 now for Wilson. There you get a good look at the line of scrimmage. Man in motion is Martin. The play again up the middle. See number Merrill keeping the ball. You got to look at Eric Casas, who's in the middle of all that action. He's number 44. Number 1 is Merrill. He's 6'1" and about 182, 183 pounds. The line of scrimmage, still the 25-yard line. So he got back to the line of scrimmage. And no place beyond that. It is now 3rd and 5 for Wilson. And we have a new man set wide to the left. That's Brian Grinsby. But before another play can take place, we have a timeout down at the field called by Wilson. Timeout with 5:07 to go in the first quarter. The score, West Covina 7, Wilson nothing.
West Covina nothing. And on the freshman level,
we might look at a few more stats, individual stats from the conference. Speaking of the Sierra Conference or Sierra League, the leading scorer is Lanham of Nogales. We saw him earlier when Nogales and West Covina played. West Covina gave Nogales a pretty good battle. In fact, led them at halftime, but ultimately lost that game. Lanham of Nogales with 74 points on 12 touchdowns. Washington of Roland with 72 points. Edwards of Nogales is next with 10 touchdowns, total of 60 points. Now Jacobs of West Covina has scored a couple of touchdowns, but 14 field goals, or rather points after a touchdown. As you look at the Wilson Wildcats, break from their huddle following the timeout. And set wide to the left is Randy Snyder. Wide receiver left. One back behind the quarterback. Merrill throws. It is caught for maybe a yard gain. Flag goes down after the tackle was made back around the 22-yard line. One of the players over to help out on the tackle was number 33, Lawrence Phillips. Although 3 or 4 players were there, this has been a rather penalty-marred game. This time the personal foul is against West Covina. In fact, there was another one earlier, I believe, and that was also against West Covina. So it really doesn't do any good to lose your temper and say untoward things, especially in that situation, because play was stopped for virtually no gain whatsoever. But now the 15-yard penalty, and the ball marched upfield to the 39-yard line. 1st and 10 at the 39. We have 4 minutes, 58 seconds to go in quarter number 1. We'll check that defense. 4 linebackers for West Covina as the hand goes off to Casas. Casas, who's a pretty hard runner, is across the 40 to about the 42 or 43. 41-yard line was, or the 40, the original line of scrimmage. Give him a pickup of 4 on the play, so make it 2nd and 6. West Covina leads the ball game 7-0. Wilson was in possession, but a bad pass thrown by Merrill is intercepted by Jacobs, who ran 59 yards back. Nobody even close to him, and he still stepped out of bounds and did not score the touchdown, but Salazar went in later, a couple of plays later. You notice that play went nowhere as the defense equal to the occasion. We'll try to spot some of the defenders down there for West Covina. Glenn Jacobs is in there. Number 55 is Chris Vivolo, to whom we referred earlier, now coming off the field for a brief rest. Brian Smith. Number 20, one of the cornerbacks, that would be Greg Nelson. On our side of the field, near our booth, number 83, you can see him with his hands on his hips, Dave Bowles. Man in motion, wide receivers both directions. As Merrill goes back to pass, he throws is complete at the 45-yard line. Just a quick pass over on the far side, 81. The tight end caught that. That's Bonet, B-O-N-E-T, Brian Bonet. At the 45-yard line, West Covina defending against Wilson. 3:28 to go in the first quarter of play, and Wilson is behind 7-0. That brings up 4th down and long yardage. And so the kick. And it's taken by Escalante back at his 13, and he gets across the 15 to the 20, about the 23-yard line.
Snyder made the tackle.
Number 83, Snyder, one of the split ends who alternate in the Wilson offensive plan, made the tackle. In case you joined us late, Wilson threatened to move the ball down close to the West Covina goal line, but then after West Covina, who took the opening kickoff, punted, and Wilson got started, then the defense tightened up, and neither team could do much, as neither team, at least the offensive team, did much then, as that play was stopped for no gain. The ball's inside the 20-yard line at about the 18-yard line.
It's second down and 15 from the 19-yard line.
2nd and 15 inside the 20 at about the 18. Salazar throws. McHenry catches the ball, but he's downed immediately, as you can see, at about the 21 or the 22-yard line. And let's see who gets up from the defensive pile up there. Number 81 getting a congratulations from his teammate, and that was Bonet again who made that tackle. Brian Bonet brings up 3rd and about 12. 3rd and 12. The ball across the 20 at about the 22.5, 23-yard line. About 15 yards in from the near sideline. We'll check that Wilson defense again. Looks like 3 linebackers and the middle of the line. Stop that play. It was supposed to go up the middle. And I would assume on that particular play, West Covina was not taking any chances on doing anything too fancy deep in their own territory with the 3rd down play, and they did not throw. So Jacobs will do the punting. The line of scrimmage about the 22, but before the punt can take place, as you saw on your screen, a yellow flag down. That's about the 5th one, it seems to be, thrown tonight. So this game's fairly raggedly played. A 7-0 score, West Covina, the team on your left in the maroon jerseys. Jim Wright, their head coach, Dave Merrill, the head coach at Wilson High School.
Procedure charged against West Covina be a 5-yard penalty.
A 5-yarder, illegal procedure against West Covina. So that moves the ball back another 5 to around the 17. So the line of scrimmage, the 17-yard line. A deep man back at his own 46, Wilson. And Jacobs barely got that off. That ball takes a good hop for West Covina. It's going to roll dead at the 40-yard line where it's downed. So 33 yards on the punt, actually 43 with the roll. 1st and 10, Wilson at its own 40 or 41-yard line. In case you joined us late, I'm Doug Steele. This is West Covina Community Cable Television. And you'll see lots of events concerning local people and local occurrences, including sports. So far, Wilson has been ineffective, and West Covina, with the exception of the one pass interception that set up the 1-yard touchdown run, has not been exceptionally smooth tonight either. You could see Tom Merrill keep that himself up to the 50-yard line. There you get a look at Merrill, number 1.
9-yard gain. It'll be 2nd down and 1. The ball is at the 50-yard line.
2nd down. About a yard to go. See no flags. There's a brief hold up in play. Substitutions going in. 33 coming out. 51 entering the defensive lineup. That's Phillips coming out. And Chris Torres entering the game for West Covina. Slot to the right. Split backs behind Merrill, who fades back to the 44. Throws. And it is complete at the 41-yard in West Covina territory. And I think that is 83 Snyder over there.
He made the reception, brought down by Greg Nelson. First down
for Wilson, and they've got themselves a drive going. They trail 7-0. Both of these ball clubs, as we said, have had their problems this year. West Covina with an overall record as the end of the first quarter arrives. Not doing too well overall. We'll check all that out in a moment. Wilson breaking from the huddle in those white jerseys. You get an overall look at the well-lighted field here at West Covina High School. They have a first down. Wilson at the West Covina 40-yard line. And Merrill keeps the ball. Nice fake, and is still on his feet as he twists and turns across the 35 to about the 33-yard line. So he picked up 6 or 7 on the play before he's belted down. But a nice gain, nice fake by him. And Merrill, again, who is 6'1" and about 185 or thereabouts. Used that weight, and he's got some speed, too.
Number 33.
Very well, but he did fool the defense a little bit with a couple of nice fakes, tucked the ball in his own right hip, and was off for 6 or 7. The line of scrimmage will be the 34-yard line, 2nd and 3. Set wide to the left as a wide receiver is Brian Grinsby, number 7. Number 81, Bonet in motion to the left. The play to Casas, and all of those wide receivers and men in motion were just out there to deceive. Casas tried to crack over his own left side, but the right side of the defensive line got him. Vivolo was there, number 36, I think also an assist. That would be Mike Stump. So he got back to the line of scrimmage on that 2nd and 3 play. It's now 3rd and 3 with 10:48 remaining in the first half. West Covina, the team in the maroon jerseys, leading 7-0. The touchdown by Salazar, a 1-yarder, set up by a 59-yard run by Glenn Jacobs. Now a flag goes down, a little mix-up, I think, in the Wilson backfield. And again, I know that Glenn Jacobs is going to be kidded quite a bit by his teammates and his friends. He intercepted a badly thrown Wilson pass and outraced everybody, got a jump on the defense when he made that interception, went over along the far sideline, and he outran everybody. Nobody was within 10 or 15 yards of him, and yet he stepped out of bounds at the 1-yard line. So Salazar got the icing on the cake with the touchdown. Jacobs did add the extra point as Merrill goes back to pass. He looks, he throws, and it is overthrown.
Pass is incomplete.
Intended along the far sideline. That was Snyder, I think, number 83. Randy Snyder. He was
Pass was intended for Snyder and
covered very well there by Lawrence Phillips.
10 from the 28-yard line.
It'll be 2nd down following the first down picked up by Wilson on that 7-yarder by Merrill. 2nd and 10. The line of scrimmage is about the 29. And again, before a play can take place, you can see the man in the white hat moving over and saying, "Hey, fellas, got to get your act together." That's Manny Canales. And backing away and had his back to our screen for a moment, you saw Joe Simmons, Dan Wilson, the head linesman.
It'll be 2nd down and 5 on the 24-yard line.
So from the 24-yard line, West Covina, the infraction, a 5-yarder. As Merrill goes back to pass again, he throws incomplete. The intended receiver was Martin, who cut to his left after running downfield about 10 or 12 yards. He cut towards the far sideline. The ball was thrown behind him. No chance at a reception there. So we now have 3rd and 5 for the team in the white jerseys. Number 80, you're looking at on your screen, is Chris Hansen.
3rd and 5 from the 24.
He's the tight end, but now he's set wide to the right, so they set him loose on this one. Wide receiver to the left also. Man in motion. A little wing out to the left. The play, Casas, but he's stopped for virtually no gain. He needed 5 on that 3rd down play. He may have gotten 1. Let's see where they placed the ball.
Gain of about a yard on the play.
So that brings up 4th and 4. Again, Wilson has been rather inept looking tonight offensively.
Tackle made by Smith.
9:43 showing on the scoreboard clock. First half of play, 7-0. West Covina, the team in the maroon jerseys. Set wide to the right is Hansen. Wide receiver left. Play up the middle, and the pass is complete. And that's Bonet, the tight end. Bonet, the tight end, right down the middle. And the pass was well thrown. And a good catch. And that'll be the first down inside the 15-yard line at the 14. 1st and 10 at the 14-yard line.
Ball is on the 12-yard line.
And Maybe a little closer, according to the PA announcer. From our angle, looks at the 14. He's saying the 12. We'll give him the benefit of a doubt. That means Wilson still has to get to the 2 for the first down, but they're threatening. They trail 7-0. A little wing back to the right. Merrill keeps the ball and gets some yardage. Gets around the 5 or perhaps inside the 5. 8:54 remaining, and West Covina leading 7-0. They scored their touchdown with 6:50 to go in the first quarter, with a couple of minutes almost remaining in the quarter. But now Wilson threatening to tie it up. And we still have plenty of time to go in the half with 8.5 minutes to go. Okay, going wide left now, number 7 is Brian Grimsby. And that's Hansen set wide left. A single back is Casas. Casas gets the ball, breaks over left tackle, and he's in for the touchdown. So Casas for about 4 yards. And it's now 7-6. West Covina by 1. That touchdown coming with 8:21 here in the second quarter. A lot of students gathering down behind the Wilson goalpost to watch what they hope will be a successful extra point. Fernando Santizo will do the kicking. Merrill will hold. There's a snap, a good snap. The kick is in the air, almost blocked, but it is good. So the PAT ties her up as Santizo splits the uprights, and that makes it a tie ball game, 7-7. I'm Doug Steele. I hope you're enjoying tonight's telecast. We try to cover as many. Across the way, the Wilson Band here in some force tonight. They have a very fine musical program at Wilson High School. West Covina, they're struggling, but trying to improve things. Wilson getting set to kick off after just now tying the ball game. 7 apiece. We're going to have to stand up with everybody else.
Santizo kicking off.
Santizo will kick off. Number 33, Lawrence Phillips, one of the deep men. It's picked up by one of the short receivers along the far sidelines. We have a line of scrimmage at about the 30-yard line, maybe 31, for West Covina as they try to get something going again. They led it up to just a moment ago, but now it's 7 apiece. It'll be 1st and 10 at the 33-yard line for the Bulldogs. Center out over the ball. And Rene Salazar about to take the snap with wide receivers both directions. And a play up to about the 35, a couple of yards pickup on that. And carrying the ball was Rodney Boone. Boone for a couple to the 35. Try to check that Wilson defense now to give some credit to the players in there. Number 52 is Jesus Lara, number 83, and we're looking on our screen there at West Covina. The deep safety back around the 50-yard line for Wilson. Drops back as Salazar goes to pass. He throws and it is caught. Ball carrier at the 50, the 45, and pulled down from behind at the 40-yard line. And let's see, 87 McHenry, I believe, was the man who caught that.
Salazar to McHenry. Bonet made the stop.
For a minute. McHenry, the receiver, was dragged down from behind, and we missed the number of the player who caught him, and that was a very, very important defensive play because McHenry would have picked up a few more yards. McHenry, who's a pretty tall lad, seemed to have overmatched in that department the man who's trying to defend him. McHenry, number 87, is 6'2". Pretty rangy frame as Salazar goes back to fade, rolls to his left, throws. It is incomplete. Intended for McHenry again, who is standing open around the 35-yard line. But a couple of defenders were coming up from behind Salazar. I think he heard footsteps, and he dumped the ball off and didn't throw it too accurately. 2nd and 10 at the 45-yard line. 7 apiece, the score in this one, in case you just joined us. A 1-yard touchdown jaunt, or that's probably not the right word, plunge for Salazar for West Covina. Jacobs the point after. Then Casas a short distance for Wilson. There's the pass that is caught, and that's caught by Boone. Boone is dragged down inside the 40 at the 41-yard, at the 39-yard line. He was tackled by Steve Chason. Chason's last name, Chiasson. Wouldn't guess the pronunciation to be Chason, but Chason it is. There's the fella coming off who just caught it, Boone, number 14.
38-yard line. Timeout. West Covina takes timeout.
It'll be 3rd down and about 3 at the 38-yard line when play resumes, but West Covina calls timeout. The score 7 apiece. To get to this point of the season, 57, Tony Montiel, as West Covina with a 3rd and 3 at the Wilson 38 breaks over the huddle. I formation with a right end split. The ball carrier, after a gain of 2 perhaps, maybe not. Still, they're going to need a yard for the touchdown. That was Lawrence Phillips. But they're short of the first down. Brings up 4th and 1.
4th down and 2 for West Covina.
All right, Stacy!
6:01. We're having a little tussle with some people who keep standing up. We can't see the scoreboard, so they don't seem to take a hint. 4th and 1. A short snap this time, and the ball carrier stopped, I think, shy of the needed yardage. That was Lawrence Phillips.
Short of a first down.
So Phillips does not make the first down, and Wilson will have another chance at it here.
From the 36-yard line.
With 5, just have a run of about 12 yards up to the 50-yard line as Tom Merrill. Merrill kept the ball on the keeper, went from the 38 to the 50. So it's a first down at the 50-yard line. Man in motion is Martin. That's Casas who carries up the middle. Casas got a couple from the 50 to about the 47. Maybe give him 3 on the play. Between 2 and 3. Ladies, can you can't see the score?
49-yard line.
4:27 remaining in the half. I can't see. That's Merrill back to pass. Throws the ball in the dirt. Intended at the 40-yard line. For number 83, that would be Snyder.
3rd and 9, 49.
So 3rd down and 9. Now with 4:10 remaining in the first half. 7-all the score in the ball game. Substitution now coming in, number 32 for Wilson. That's Jeremy Reimer, who is due to be one of the starters. Haven't seen much of him tonight. Let's see how he works out as wide receivers both directions. Merrill fades back to the 46-yard line, throws and just barely overthrows the man who just came in. Jerry Reimer came in with a play, Jeremy Reimer, but the ball just overthrown at about the 16, 17-yard line. Another step, and he would have had that ball and maybe a touchdown with 4:04 to go in the half. 7 apiece the score.
Santizo in punt formation. Escalante deep.
Okay, following the incompleted forward pass, a 4th down, and the kick is blocked. Santizo has a block. Number 50 was the man who blocked it, picked up by West Covina, and they'll have a 1st down. 33, Phillips was the guy who picked up the ball, but the original block was by Eric Sumner.
On the Wildcat 24-yard line.
The ball will be put in play inside the 25 at the 24. So that's a big play for West Covina again. That blocked kick by Eric Sumner. Split backs as Salazar goes back to pass. McHenry is the man. A great catch. He had defenders on both sides of him.
Reception made by Steve McHenry. Sir. Defending on the play. Carries down to the 6.
So the pass caught by McHenry
From the 6-yard line.
at the 6. So West Covina with a 1st and goal at the 6-yard line. Great catch by McHenry. And West Covina calls timeout with 3:27 remaining in the half, and the score 7-7. So let's recap that play. Salazar throwing the pass to McHenry, but the big play before that, as Santizo tried to boot the ball on a 4th down, the kick was blocked. West Covina close to a touchdown now and a lead here in the 2nd quarter of play. After the block of the kick, Phillips picked it up, ran it for a yard or 2. Phillips with the recovery of the kick. And it's 1st and goal at the 6-yard line. Split backs. Handoff is to number 14, Boone. Ducks his head as he cracks over left guard. Got close to the goal line.
Carried to the 3-yard line.
Brings up 2nd and goal from the 3. Split backs again. And Phillips is going to be trapped and caught and brought down. A loss on the play back to about the 9-yard line. And we want to get the number if he gives us an angle. Number 60 was the man who set up the defensive play. That was Eric Ayala. Big play for him. Sets the ball back actually around the 8-yard line, 7 or 8-yard line. Brings up 3rd down. And they're about 8 yards away from a touchdown, but that's a big 8 yards as Salazar goes back to pass. Oh, had receivers break both directions, and he threw right down the middle. So I don't know whether that was a mix-up. Number 80 and number 36 both broke into the end zone. Each then cut a different direction, and the ball went right down the middle. 80 is Ryan Negrete. 36, Mike Stump. Incompleted forward pass brings up 4th down.
David Bowles will hold.
Bowles will try the extra point. It's high enough and long enough, and it's good.
Kick is good.
So credit the three-pointer to Bowles.
2 minutes and 1 second remaining in the first half.
That field goal coming with 2 minutes and 1 second remaining in the half. And West Covina leads it now 10-7. West Covina, they led 7-0. Wilson came back in the second quarter after West Covina took the first period lead and tied at 7 apiece. West Covina with a great chance to score another touchdown after a blocked kick. And they got the ball to about the 6-yard line and were not able to make it. The ball on the tee, and it'll be Jacobs doing the kicking for West Covina. Have two short men back around the 30-yard line for the kick. The kick is fairly deep. Flags down, and we'll do this one over again. Another infraction here on the kickoff. In case you joined us late, as we said, West Covina led 7-0 after Glenn Jacobs intercepted a pass and ran 59 yards with nobody near him. The closest defender 15 yards away. He stepped out of bounds, but Salazar went in from the 1-yard line. Jacobs did add the extra point, and it was 7-0. Then Casas went for a short gain and a touchdown, and the extra point added for Wilson to make it 7-all. Now West Covina on the field goal with a couple of minutes to go here. Leads it by a score of 10-7. Okay, we'll try the kickoff again. This time from the 35 and a 5-yard penalty against West Covina. Jacobs gets a high kick, and it's taken by Martin back around his own 10, comes along the near sideline, and is shoved into the ground by number 46. 46 was the man who got his hands on him, Paul Porter. And his shove and the forward momentum of the ball carrier resulted in the receiver hitting the turf at about the 20-yard line, make it shy of the 20 at about the 18-yard line. So 1st and 10 from the 18, Wilson, as Merrill hands off to Casas. Casas on a quick opener over the middle gets to the 20. He may have picked up a yard or a yard and a half on the play. Still enough time to score with 1:26 to go. There you get a shot at number 74. That's Ed Quezada on the defensive or the offensive line of Wilson. Number 80 is Chris Hansen. Receiver, number 10, just going off the field, you saw was Steve Martin. Number 7, going out wide to the left, is Steve Olague, O-L-A-G-U-E. Merrill fades back inside the 20, and he's being chased, and he's going to be racked up. He's dropped back inside the 25 at about the 22-yard line. And they were out around the 29, so he loses 7 or so on the play. Big break for West Covina with now 42 seconds to go in the first half of play. 10-7, West Covina.
It's 3rd down and 15. Ball is on the 23-yard.
3rd down and about 16 needed for the first down. So the ball was down to when Merrill had no place at all to go, and as you see, that scenario reenacted. So right now the defensive line is really getting the charge on the Wilson offensive line, and in 2 consecutive plays as the half ends, Merrill is sacked with the score at halftime. West Covina 10, Wilson of Hacienda Heights 7. We'll be back. At about the 30-yard line. Another man by himself back at the 21, and 3 deep receivers down around the 5. There's the kick by Jacobs, and the ball glances off the hands of number 22. You see him pick it up, and he goes back into the end zone and recovers it, and they'll bring it out to the 20-yard line. That was Adrian Higuera, and as you saw, the ball took a really nasty spin. Hit him, glanced off, and he wisely went back, picked up the ball, downed it in the end zone, and it'll be
the impetus of the kick took it into the end zone. It is a touchback. And it'll be
back to the 20-yard line on the touchback.
From their own 20-yard line.
So Wilson with a 1st and 10 at its 20. Again, the quarterback, Tom Merrill. And Merrill fades back to pass, and he throws a high pass. It's overthrown to number 20s. No, number 80 and number 20. The intended receiver was Hansen, and number 20 doing the defending was Nelson, Greg Nelson. But the ball overthrown about 5 yards at the 40-yard line of West Covina. So that brings up 2nd and 10 at the 20. Kind of spasmodic game. Neither ball club able to do much in the way of scoring or even sustain drives. Both of them have made numerous errors, and a couple of personal foul penalties against West Covina kept them in hot water for a while. Okay, now number 80 is a slot back wide as Merrill throws, but throws the other way and throws it about 10 yards out of bounds. Nobody even remotely close. So I don't know whether Merrill is having a bad evening, whether his receivers are running bad patterns or just what, but he has not been very accurate tonight. Brings up 3rd and 10 at the 20-yard line. 11:36 to go in the 3rd quarter of the game. In other words, we're just getting underway. As you see number 80 on your screen for the Wildcats, that's Chris Hansen, one of the wide receivers. Number 81, Chris Bonet, tight end. Good picture there as the white-clad Wilson Wildcats. Merrill fakes the handoff, throws. It is incomplete. That was Martin who caught it, and number 33, or attempted to catch it. I think it was Phillips who hit him about the same time. Phillips was in the area, one other player, give them an assist. And that was very close to a reception, but the defender really banged him just about the time he caught the ball, and he couldn't hang on to it. 4th and 10. Honey? Huh?
Tanciso in punt formation, Escalante deep.
Escalante is deep for Wilson back at the 40, and the whistle blows. Maybe they took too much time, don't know, before the snap, and I think that's what it's going to be, a delay of game. It'll be another 5 yards if that's indeed the call.
Illegal procedure. Charged against
Illegal
Wilson.
procedure.
5 yards.
5 yards.
After the 15-yard line.
The ball at the 15-yard line now.
From the 15.
4th and 15. So this first series from Wilson, or by Wilson, somewhat inept. Let's see what happens on the snap. The snap is okay. The kick, it's a low kick. West Covina is going to wind up with pretty good field position. Escalante at the 45-yard line.
Brought down at the 45-yard line.
Number 58 and number 53 get up from the pile. 58 is Anthony Mowad, and number 53, don't show a 53 on our roster for the Wildcats. So Mowad getting credit there. 10-7 was their score at halftime. Got 11:19 to go in the 3rd period, with West Covina clinging to a 3-point lead, and it's a first down for them at the 45. Salazar back to pass, throws. McHenry, the intended receiver, caught it! Again, I think he had a height advantage on the defender who's still lying along the sideline. The line of scrimmage is going to be about the 20-yard line. McHenry is a good receiver. He's got height. He's over 6 feet tall and got a good pair of hands. Caught that ball, and West Covina, who blew a pretty good chance to score a touchdown after a blocked kick in the waning minutes of the first half, now is in business again. Line of scrimmage at the 20. That player is still down, as you see. Coach Merrill bending over him there. He's the more distant of the two fellows that you see there. One with a white collar, looks like Coach Merrill. Now one of the officials stepping in there, so can't identify the player. I'm Doug Steele on WCCT,
Drew Shermer on his feet.
West Covina Community Television. And the player was at Shermer, number 18, off the field under his own power. A little help there, but he doesn't seem to be seriously hurt. West Covina, 1st and 10 at the 20 of Wilson. Ball about 15 yards in from the far sideline. One of the defensive tackles got a little anxious. Maybe he was drawn off, but the flag goes down. That was number 73, Sean Zerold, I think.
Charged against the Wildcats, 5-yard penalty.
That's against Wilson. It's 1st and 5 at the 15. West Covina with a marvelous chance here to go further in front. They lead, as we said, by 3. I-backs behind Salazar. Salazar gives to the fullback, Escalante. Escalante doesn't do well. In fact, hit at the line of scrimmage, and they say he got back to the line, and that's all. So it's 2nd and 5 at the 15.
And Lara got on the tackle.
Man, we might look at some of the league standings around the eastern part of the valley. In the Angelus League, that would be the Catholic School League. Bishop Amat 3-0 in the league, 7-1 overall. Loyola follows them with a 2-1 record. We'll look at that further. But right now, the pitch, and the man is around end, carrying inside to the about the 4, looks like, was Boone, Rodney Boone. Let's see if he's got the first down.
The ball is just inside the 10-yard line. So it's 1st and goal.
Inside the 10, and he was he needed 5. They were out at the 15. He got to the 10 and just inside. So it's 1st and goal just inside the 10, so they don't need a first down to score or to keep the drive going. They can score from here as the handoff goes, and for 2 or 3 yards went Mr. Escalante, who for a moment looked as if he might break away. Number 36, you see him move across the front of your screen. He tried to angle to his left and was stopped, so Escalante picked up about 3. So it's 2nd and goal from the 7. Split backs behind Salazar, the quarterback. The play, he may have kept. Whoever got the ball took about a half step and was submerged by a number of white jerseys. And we'll try to give credit to the last man up. And he still hasn't gotten up yet. Looks like number 75. Credit Steve Chasen to make the tackle for that stop. And Mike Stump, number 36, comes back in the lineup. After being out for a moment, he's going to go wide right. McHenry is playing as a tight end this time. A play over the left side. Big pile up. Again, no indication of a touchdown. They were at the 7, picked up maybe a yard or 2.
To the
1-yard line. So he picked up more than it appeared. He's down around the 1.
4th down for West Covina.
So 4th and about 1 for West Covina. Big play here now. They lead by 3, 10-7. Set wide to the right is Pat Kurzik, number 88. Just about a yard or 2 actually outside the tackle. The play up the middle. Let's see. Big pile up. No indication of touchdown yet. The players are saying touchdown, but the officials have not said so yet. Let's watch the pile if we can.
So it'll be first down.
No touchdown. The Wildcats stop.
1-yard line.
that drive at the 1-yard line, and number 75, Chasen, who made a big important tackle a moment ago, stopped the ball carrier then. So the play up the middle, we didn't see who got the ball. I think perhaps again it was Escalante on the play. So West Covina on 2 attempts now, one from the 6-yard line. This time they had a 1st and goal inside the 10. Neither time could they convert to the touchdown. And so a big defensive hole that West Covina has put Wilson in, and somebody starts to go in motion, stops, whistles blow, flags go down, and let's see if Wilson has shot itself in the foot again. They've done it a few times tonight, as has West Covina. A raggedly played game, so it's fairly easy to see why neither of these teams has enjoyed great success, because there are some pretty tough teams in the league. Nogales and Roland. Illegal procedure.
But the ball is already on the goal line.
So the ball, which was near the goal line, is half the distance, so it's virtually on the goal line. There you got to look at a couple of defenders, numbers 83 and 10. Number 10 on the right there is Jacobs. He's the one who booted the extra point following the first touchdown. He's the one who intercepted a pass and ran 59 yards, nobody close to him, and he stepped out of bounds. Salazar got the touchdown. Pass incomplete. Right over the middle. And Bonet upfield about 5 yards or so, cut towards the middle, but incomplete. 2nd down and 10. Wilson with its back to the wall. Now with 7:19 remaining in period number 3. It was 10-7 at a halftime, and that's the way it has stood. West Covina with a great chance to score, starting with that 1st and goal from inside the 10, and they never made it. They were stopped inside the 1. This play unsuccessful as Casas, I believe, going to his left, tried to cut inside end and tackle.
Takes it out to about the 1-yard line.
So even though West Covina did not score, if they can stop this next play from scrimmage, then Wilson will have to kick from their own end zone, and West Covina will be in pretty good position to do something. But they've been in that position twice, late with just a minute and a half or so to go in the first quarter, or first half. Got to the 6-yard line and could not score. This time they got to the 1-yard line and couldn't score. As Merrill keeps the ball, pretty gutsy play. He got a little running room, a couple of yards out, I guess, before things collapsed on him. Number 33 was one of those things. Chris Vivolo, number 55, was another one. 33, Lawrence Phillips. He's played a pretty good ball game tonight. That brings up 4th down, and they still need about 8. 4th and 8 at the 1-yard line for Wilson.
4th down and 9. 2-yard line.
So Santizo back under his own goal post. Hope he gets a good snap here. The deep receiver is at the 40-yard line. There's the kick. He gets it off. Pretty high kick. Flag goes down. As the play develops, the flag is at the 36-yard line. That was a field judge who threw that one. And handling that particular responsibility tonight is Dan Wilson. No, I've checked that. Vern Sparling. So again, this is a slowly paced game. Lots of mistakes by both teams.
Charged against West Covina. Too many men on the field.
Illegal participation. That means that in a game that uses 11 players, West Covina had one more than that. So West Covina getting a break when they forced Wilson to kick from their own end zone. Would have had the ball inside the 35 or so. So that penalty is going to get things started all over again and give Wilson another chance here. He'll mark the ball off 5 yards. Or is it more? As a matter of fact, it is more.
Takes the ball out to the
Ball
15-yard
is
line.
brought out to the 15-yard
First
line.
down for Wilson.
So Wilson survives the landmine. When they punted, West Covina had an extra man on the field. That's a 10-yard penalty. And the ball is brought out to the 15-yard line, or thereabouts, where it's a first down. So that sort of goes with the evening's activities. As we've said, these teams are not in mid-season or season-end form. First and 10 at the 16. That could be a turning point in this game, although the defense was
No gain on the play.
ready on that play. A little quick opener over the right side that netted a half yard maybe.
Torres, Bigelow, and Smith in on the stop.
5.5 minutes, just a little less to go in the third quarter of the play. I'm Doug Steele, along with our crew here at West Covina High School for West Covina Community Television. Hope you're enjoying this game between a couple of teams who have had some bad moments during the season, and tonight neither is looking especially sharp. A slot formation to the left. On the reverse, number 22 carrying the ball at the 20, the 25-yard line. That's Wong. Flag goes down as he's driven out of bounds. So another flag. Flag after flag has marred this game.
Flag on the play.
And the fans seem to be getting just a bit restless. There's number 44, Casas, and number 22 on your screen is Wong, the kid who just, on that reverse, came upfield, but now
50-50 drawing, folks.
this penalty is going to be marked off against Wilson from around the 22-yard line.
0-2-1-397. 0-2-1-397.
Well, West Covina got to the 1-yard line and couldn't score. Wilson couldn't do anything. They kicked from under their own goal post, but West Covina had an extra man on the field. The penalty gave Wilson a first down. They ran a play successfully, but they're penalized 15, and now the ball is back at the 17-yard line.
Once again, the winning number
10-7 the score. The team in white trailing. That's Wilson High School. Wide receivers both directions. Split backs behind Merrill, who rolls to his left. He throws. It's incomplete. The intended receiver was Hansen, but it was the ball kind of low. Hansen had to kind of bend over and lean. It may have been out of his reach a bit too. It wasn't too accurately thrown, but the defense had something to do with that. They were harassing Merrill. 3rd and 15. So both offenses pretty inept tonight. I shouldn't belabor the point, I suppose. We've had as much trouble tonight fighting fans to keep them standing up in front of us as we have been to describe the game. That long pass, incomplete. The receiver got a step. Snyder on number 83, Bowles, but again, Merrill's pass not too accurate. Overthrown 5 yards. So after all of that, Wilson will have to kick again. A little better position. They had to kick from their own end zone last time. This time they'll be booting it from out about the 10-yard line. Escalante back at the 49-yard line, his own 49, the fairly high snap. But Santizo gets off the kick and end over ender that takes a very good hop. Oh, Escalante picks it up on the hop. Much like a shortstop racing over to his right and getting a ball bouncing through the infield. Another flag goes down after all of this. There's a flag down. That occurred about 2 minutes after the play came to an end. This flag back around the 42 or 43-yard line in West Covina territory. So Escalante played that one on the hop, and he got by with it. He didn't run far once he did, about 3 or 4 yards. Let's identify number 66 for you for Wilson. That's reach for my notes here. That's Rolando Caparaz, number 70.
Personal foul against West Covina.
West Covina, another personal foul. I assume that's probably what it was because the flag was thrown a long time after the play ended. What that accomplishes, or what a player thinks it will accomplish, I don't really know. What it accomplished in this situation was to give a
36-yard line.
15-yard improvement in field position as far as the defense is concerned. The ball is now back at the 36-yard line, West Covina. 1st and 10 at its own 36 with 4.5 minutes to go in a rather slow-paced game. And now the referee says start the clock and let's get this thing rolling. And a big loss on the play and another flag, I think, going down. As the ball carrier chased all the way back. Let's see, they're going to place the ball down, however, at the 31-yard line. Vivolo wound up with the ball. How, I don't know, but he did.
Ball is back to the 31-yard line.
So West Covina will try again. They lead by 3. And the way this game is being played, 3 could be an insurmountable lead. Oh, again, we're going to see flags as somebody jumped off signs too early. It looked as if maybe defensive tackle on the right side for Wilson jumped the gun, but he may have been drawn off. That would be Eric Ayala. The penalty's going to go, I think, against West Covina. You're watching tonight's telecast on WCCT, West Covina Community Television. Again, our co-directors are Lisa Allen and Anthony Zaldivar. On cameras, Phil Ige, Melissa Berkeley, John Nefos, and Alex Hershey.
A 5-yard penalty against West Covina, and then a 15-yard penalty against...
5-yard penalty against West Covina, a 15-yard penalty against Wilson. That's going to be a net of 10. Wilson.
The winner of the 50-50 drawing was Mr. Brian Spellman.
Sees the ball now placed at the 41-yard line. So West Covina was
Football Boosters, thanks everyone for the
penalized 5, Wilson 10. After all of that, we're at the 41-yard line. Our technical director tonight is Regina Alvarado. Our engineer is Tony Viscaro, and our audio tonight being handled by Isaias Camarena and Kevin Warrendorp. I gave, you can see some future West Covina players, or maybe Angels players, putting in a little performance here as we have a timeout down on the field. .336 remaining in the third quarter. The score was 10-7 at halftime. It is 10-7 now. Numerous penalties, haven't kept track. Our computer began smoking blue smoke when I got to like 110 penalties. No, not that many, but there have been a great number tonight. Raggedly played ball as West Covina breaks out to its own 41-yard line.
2nd and 18 for West Covina.
And it's 2nd and 18. Salazar being rushed. He throws incompleted forward pass. Number 36 Stump intended receiver. But a defender had his eye on Salazar, and Salazar really had to get rid of the ball. The man who was putting the pressure on him was number 60, Eric Ayala. So now, 3rd down and 18. Wide receivers both directions, split backs behind Salazar, who fades back to the 34. He's being hustled again. And the pass is caught. That was McHenry. McHenry, a diving catch at the 40-yard line. A flag back at the 36-yard line. Surprise. So that infraction took place back at the line of scrimmage where the play developed, and it looks as if a major infraction coming up. The officials talking now at the 41-yard line. We started to look at the standings in the Angeles League earlier. As you look at our officials talking things over again, there's Rene Salazar, number 11. This personal foul against Wilson. So West Covina again, thanks to this infraction and an earlier one in this drive, if you want to call it that, or this halting walk, gives a first down to West Covina inside the 30 at about the 26-yard line. 1st and 10 at the 26. 3:14 to go in the quarter. That's Casas, or rather number 14, Boone.
11 yards by Boone.
And Boone cracks over the left side and gets nice yardage inside the 15 at the 14. So give him 11 or so on the play and a first down. It's at the 14, and so he got 12 on the play. And West Covina in a chance here, a good chance with a good opportunity to score. They've blown a couple of earlier ones. They could easily be in front by another 12, 14 points. Phillips on that play. Moving to his left.
To the 10-yard line.
The ball just shy of the 10.
Down and 7 from the 10.
From the 10, second down and about 7. So they need to get to the 3 to keep this drive going. As Salazar fades back, throws a long pass, it is knocked down. McHenry was there, but at this time a couple of receivers timed their jumps a little more intelligently and better. Numbers 1, that would be Merrill, who doubles on defense, and number 18 was also there to keep McHenry from catching that ball. Number 18 would be Drew Shermer. West Covina calls timeout with now 3rd and 7. So each time they get down around the 10 or so, the drive stops. They got to the 1-yard line. Ball on the tee, and Jacobs gets his toe into it. Receiver takes the ball back at the 5. That's Martin. And Martin ducks his head when he sees the tacklers coming, realizes he can't elude them, so he just sticks his head down and tries to bury it in somebody's midsection. The run back by Martin sets up the first down for Wilson at about the 19-yard line.
First down for Wilson from their own 18-yard line.
Wilson will try to get something going. They haven't been able to do much at all. Very inept so far. I think that was Merrill who kept the ball on a dive over the left side. From the 19, he got it out to the 20. So give him 1 on the play, where it'll be now 2nd and a long 9. As we mentioned earlier, population changes have affected some of the schools. Los Altos High School, which used to have at least 2,500 to maybe 3,000 students, I believe, at its peak, is now down.
It says loving like my crescent rolls.
You know it's special when the Fresh Prince take...
After merging with the neighborhood school about a year ago, is up around 1,800, maybe 2,000. A a play that goes nowhere. I think a fumble that Wilson picked up itself, but they lose back to the 19 again. So it's 3rd and 10 at their 19.
Called to the 19-yard line.
It's been a long season for both of these clubs and a very long game tonight. I think everybody will admit that. At the end of the 3rd quarter, the score 13-7 West Covina. As we get ready to go to the final 8 minutes of play. We'll be back in just a moment. There you have it, the bright green grass of West Covina High School's football field. Despite the lack of rain, I guess they keep it pretty well watered. Despite the number of games played on the field, it's not that badly worn. A few spots back around the 10-yard line, one of the 10-yard lines. Wilson. 3rd down and 10, deep in their own territory, back at their 19. Merrill to throw. He looks to his right. The pass is incomplete. Almost caught. Nice defense by West Covina. Number 83, Bowles, I think it was, got the intended receiver, who was Snyder, number 83. He was gully whacked right around the neck. Got him and really knocked him down. Stunned him a little bit, but he got back up. And it's 4th down and 10 as Jacobs goes back to kick. And the deep man is back at the 47-yard line in West Covina territory. There's the kick. The defender gets his hands up. Wasn't able to touch it, though. And that's Escalante again, taking that one hopper. And he's at the 45, at the 40. Before he's brought down, and that's dangerous, because that ball was spinning kind of wildly, end over end, but a dangerous one to try to field when you got defenders on either side of you, and there were players within a couple of yards of him on both sides. He did that earlier and got by with it. I am sure that Coach Wright had his eyes closed on that one, because the lead is 6 for West Covina. 13-7, but we still have almost all of the 3rd quarter remaining. A Wilson player, I think, shaken up down on the field. Let's see a bit of a jersey, I think a white jersey, or maybe that's the shoulder pad. The score at halftime was 10-7. West Covina took a 1st quarter lead, 7 up ahead of Wilson, and then Wilson tied it at 7 apiece. West Covina with a field goal by Jacobs, 10-7, remained that way until a couple of minutes back. Another field goal by Jacobs, and it's, as we say, a 13-7 lead for the Bulldogs of West Covina. You're watching this telecast in WCCT, West Covina Community Television. You can tell it's been a long game. So watch WCCT as often as you can, with lots of community programs, lots of fine arts programs, a nice break from commercial television, and fantastically nice break from commercial television, as a matter of fact. Elsewhere in high school football, as far as standings go, in the Baseline League, Glendora, that beat West Covina earlier this year here, is in top with a 5-1 record. Getting up, and you can't get a look at him now, but if we get a shot of number 50 perhaps for the Wildcats, there you go. That's Ryan Sakoda, S-A-K-O-D-A, Ryan Sakoda. Just barely see the 5. There you get a shot of the numeral. And the trainer and Coach Merrill talking to him. After Glendora in the Baseline League, it's Claremont with a 4-1 record, 4-1-1. Chaffee 4-2, Chino 3-2, Upland 3-3, Lugo, Don Lugo 2-4, Damien 2-4, Alta Loma is 0-6. So playoff headed, it looks to be, would be Glendora, Bishop Amat, Nogales, except they are playing, as this game is going on, Roland. And if Roland won that game, Nogales and Roland would be tied with records of 6-1. Overall, however, Nogales a much better record, 8-0 to Roland's 6-3. So another hold-up in our game tonight that's been punctuated by frequent throwings of flags and interruptions. Still have 11:35 to go in quarter number 4, 13-7, 6-point lead. West Covina, they're in charge, and that's Salazar handing off to Boone, and Boone over the left side, still on his feet, and caught and dragged down as he angled back to his right at the 30-yard line.
Gain of 11 and a first down for West Covina.
So West Covina has the first down inside the 30, just inside the 30-yard line of Wilson. Nice run by Boone as he went to his left, saw no room, saw a hole on his right, a crease of some sort, cut back to his right. Got 11 on the play. Split backs behind Salazar, wide receivers both directions. Throw intended for number 44, but it was incomplete. That was Lorenz, Mike Lorenz. Again, the deep men were decoys, the wide receivers. Lorenz broke out from the middle of the pack someplace, went across the line of scrimmage about 7 or 8 yards, and then cut sharply to his left. But the ball was out of his reach, couldn't get to it. 2nd and 10 at the 30. Again, split backs. McHenry to the right. Boone cracks over left tackle on a quick opener and gets another yard or two on the play. That will bring up 3rd down.
Tackle made by...
And as they move the chains, they move in just a short distance. So apparently what appeared to be maybe a 2-yard gain was actually less than a yard. So 3rd down and 9, 8.5 perhaps. West Covina in front, 13-7. As Salazar goes back to pass, being chased, throws on the run, incomplete. In fact, the pass almost wound up in the hands of a Wilson receiver, but it was number 58 who was not going to let Salazar get by with anything. Anthony Noawad, Oawad. 4th and 9 at the 29-yard line. So the line of scrimmage, again, is the 29-yard line. 39, this will be a 49-yard kick if Jacobs can do it. The kick is high enough. It's going to fall short, I believe. It's good! It is good! The line of scrimmage was the 29. The goal post is 10 yards back of the goal line. That's 39, and of course the ball on the tee was another 8 yards or back of the line of scrimmage. So they're saying 47 yards. Well, it's nice to have a toe like that in the lineup. Jacobs, who almost scored a touchdown tonight, but stepped out of bounds in a clear field with nobody in front of him at the 1-yard line. And that comes with 10:07 in the 4th quarter.
Jacobs will kick off.
So West Covina increases that lead by another 3, 16-10.
And Reimer are deep.
There you got a good wide angle of the field. The team on your left, West Covina. That's Jacobs, who just kicked a 47-yard field goal. Drives this one into the end zone where the receiver will down it. Ball brought out to the 20. Touchdowns in 48 seconds. That really hurt them after a score by Edwards for 6. West Covina then fumbled at its own 15. Nogales recovered, and that's when the youngster we referred to a moment ago went in for the touchdown, Mario Quaneca. And that's the 21-10 margin that you see. Wild kicked the extra point. Here's a play that goes nowhere as Nogales just tries to run down the clock. And West Covina will take over. Illinois, who lost consistently when Schembecker was coaching in Michigan, and she said her final wish would be that when she dies, that she be cremated and the undertaker blow her ashes in Bo Schembecker's face. That's pretty cold. That's pretty cold.
That's right.
Okay, as Salazar goes back to throw, and again it was a pass thrown short.
7 seconds left in the ball game.
36, the intended receiver, Mike Stump. And West Covina, after leading 7-3 at halftime, falls back, and the trail's now 21-10, as we said, gave up those 2 quick touchdowns in about 48 seconds. And Nogales has held on and has got this ball game wrapped up. As Salazar looks to throw, a good pass. It's intercepted, picked off by number 21. That's Jason Griffin. Griffin angling toward the far sidelines. He'd obviously like to go all the way to get his moment of glory. He's going to be shoved out of bounds at his own 49. That runs out the time and the final score. We'll see what the call is here.
It's against West Covina, whatever it is.
Down the 30, but he didn't angle just a straight line toward the far sideline. Got around the corner, and nobody could catch him. And this play gaining good yardage.
It was Ken Moulton carrying the ball that time, Doug.
He slanted to the right and got to 6 or 7 on the play.
5'8", 164-pound junior carrying the football that time. And it looks as though they're getting back some of that.
Get back to the line of back to where they started, preceding the penalty.
He didn't go out of bounds down there, Doug. There was a penalty. It could have been unsportsmanlike conduct. I didn't get the signal on it.
Now we have another flag. I think a hold against Diamond Bar, and I didn't see the flag then either, but. .103 to go in a game that's been marred from time to time by a lot of penalties. Second quarter, there were numerous flags, and now we're running into them again here in the final minute, actually under a minute, 56 seconds to go. Wide receiver set wide left with another man in motion. So we have wide receivers both left and right with a man in motion play up the middle as Diamond Bar just tries to run out the time. That was the second down play. And they needed about 15 or so for the first down. Brings up third down. West Covina with 40 seconds to go will probably get one more chance with maybe 15, 20 seconds left on the clock. So we'll take a desperation pass.
Anything can happen.
To do it.
Like the man said, anything can happen, and it usually does.
40 seconds to go in the game. Diamond Bar scored first on a short touchdown run of about a yard. Isaac Garcia went actually 6 yards on that. And Doyle's point after was good to make it 7-0. Salazar went for a yard for West Covina following a fine run by Escalante.
West Covina tried a two-point conversion, didn't work. They trailed 7-6. They added a field goal, and that's their total, 9 points. Split backs, and now one of those two goes in motion. As the quarterback, Wheat, just keeps and tries to run out the time, and he does. 34 seconds showing on the clock, and West Covina's called timeout, I believe. Stopping the clock with 33 seconds to go. They're showing timeout called by Diamond Bar. Don't understand that. There, now the referee turns and shows the other team, West Covina, calling timeout. 4th down.
It's going to be shown.